Hey, RTB community. Welcome to What's in Your Earbuds with myself, Jason, and my co host, Joe Harden from Beyond the Finish Line. Today, we're going to talk about guilty pleasure songs. You know the ones where you're driving in your car, you're singing really loud, and you look over and your lane mate is looking at you like, what in the hell are you doing? But you just keep on belting that song out. Or you're in the shower and the mood takes over and you just start yelling at the top of your lungs. Or maybe you get out on the dance floor and you dance like nobody's watching, which is what you should always be doing. Dance like nobody's watching. We put this question out to our community on Threads, and the feedback was awesome. There were at least 5 or 6 responses to songs that I can recall. And we'll get into that here in a second. Joe, thanks for joining me. How are you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, wonderful. Always excited to talk. It's like such a great way to wrap up like a Monday is to end it by talking music. So always happy to be here.
Isn't it like oftentimes or sometimes I look at the schedule and there's a late meeting and you're like, ugh, late meeting. I look at this thing, and again, as most of the audience knows, like music was not the thing I was really willing and happy to talk about. But I see this on the schedule at the end of a Monday, and I'm like, yes, we're going to talk about music and get into it a little bit.
Yeah, I love doing the homework for this too. I think it might be one of my favorite things is like kind of dig into what people submitted. It's like I like seeing like the new songs I never heard of, and then I really love seeing like a song I haven't heard in a while. So it's like you kind of get to revisit old stuff and then hear about some new stuff. So I'm always really stoked about the submissions that come in.
Yeah, like it's pretty damn cool how, look, the internet is a complete trash bin on fire. I got it. I get it. We all get it. We've all been there. You tell somebody you like apples, they start yelling at you why you don't like oranges. It's ridiculous. But every now and again, the internet shows up for you and gives you a high five. And when we posted this out there were people who were normal members of our community that chimed in, but then there were other people who I've never even spoken to. We don't follow. They don't follow us. And they were like, hey, how about this song? It's one of my guilty pleasures. And I think that's really damn cool of what has transpired with the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network playlist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into this. I have a bunch of songs. The vast majority of them I have heard of, and they make me smile because I am a top 40 listener. Like I just pop in iHeartRadio or whatever the radio station here is in LA and just listen to that as we drive around town. So there was Rihanna, Britney Spears, Meghan Trainor, and 3 songs from Taylor Swift by Thomas Smoot. So he contributed 6 songs to his guilty pleasure. And I'm guessing if he had enough characters, he probably would have kept typing.
Yeah, I think it sounds like they went for like a run and back. Like, wait, hold on. Like, so I thought it was cool. There was like 3, and then they obviously went on like a pretty successful training run, and then like, oh, here's like 3 more. So I thought that was kind of cool. That
now
it was like a post-run inspired submission too. That really made
100%. You know, he was listening to these songs and he was like, "Oh, let me drop this one in. Let me drop this one in." So let me ask you, dude. Out of those songs, S&M by Rihanna, Circus by Britney Spears, No by Meghan Trainor, Me, Gorgeous, and Delicate by Taylor Swift. Any of those songs have you ever heard of, and which of those are you singing out loud?
I have heard Gorgeous by Taylor Swift. I have a 12-year-old. And
don't lie, dude. You got that queued up on your own.
It shows up on it like low key on some of my training run playlists.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I've heard some of those songs, and I'm a Rihanna. So it's not like I'm a Rihanna fan necessarily, but like I can admit, like Rihanna is really good at what she does.
She's
like
awesome.
She has got pipes.
She's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good choice there.
Like,
but yeah, so
every one of these songs,
yeah, those are some good Smootosaurus too. I love it.
Yeah, like every one of these songs when they come on, you know you're singing. You just know it. Like you're getting grabbed by it. You don't care where you're at, and you're ripping them out. So Thomas Smoot, double thumbs up to you for sending in 6 songs that regardless of where we are at, we are bopping our heads to it and we are singing out loud for sure.
Yeah, good stuff.
The next song I have written down was submitted by longtime friend of the community, Kevin Shea. "Kiss Me" by Sixpence None the Richer.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
moment that song comes on, you are singing, right? I mean, you have to be.
I haven't heard that in so long. That might be like a throwback to, I'm gonna say like middle school days for me, if I remember. Yeah, yeah. That was like, and that song was like always the theme song of like kind of like the high school romance. So it like takes me back to that,
Brother, you just made me feel really
like kind of
old.
like the
Middle school for
high
me,
school films. But
middle school for
yeah,
me
that's a
would have
good
been
song.
1986. There's no chance that that song was being played in 1986. It's no wonder I can't keep up with you kids and your music.
This newfangled thing called music.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Des Taylor Douglas a week or two ago, and we were talking about how, like, people talk about distracted driving these days where they're texting or whatever, and it's terrible. Don't get me wrong, I'm not um, giving it a positive spin, but back in my day, we used to have like all binders with CDs in them that you used to have to take the CD out of the binder and slide it into the CD player, all while trying to drive your car on the highway. Or the visor would flop down and there'd be a contraption on the visor that would have all the CDs in it.
Oh yeah,
Nowadays, you just go
I
to
think that
Spotify, you hit next, and you keep on going.
I don't know if I can admit this. I'm like really good at driving with my knee because of those days. Like driving with your knee, flipping through this 50-pound book of CDs. Sorry, those days are long gone. I don't recommend that to anybody.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
100%.
that
Please
was
don't
before
do
text
that.
messages.
And if you're listening to us and you start laughing,
Please
just pull over to the
don't
side of the
recommend.
road and enjoy the laughter, and then you can keep going to where you got to go. Do you have any other songs that the community contributed to while we were asking that question?
Yeah,
What else you got?
yeah. So we have SD Walsh 88, Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, Welcome to the Jungle by GNR, great
Great
tunes.
tune.
Santino threw one in there. Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by U2. It's on the Batman soundtrack. I can't confirm that, Santino.
Yeah, it is.
Will Eady, also a longtime friend of the community. Four Non Blondes, What's Up, which is an absolute banger of a song, by the way, Will. And my wife actually suggested a song, "Walking on Broken Glass" by Amy Lennox.
Man, yes.
So we had some behind the scenes ones come in there.
I might have to mail.
Yeah, I forgot about
I might
that
have to
song
mail
too.
Cassie a sticker for having the best song added to the playlist for this week. That's a great tune, man.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of others. Mary, Roddy to the Core on Threads, Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones, and then Marlon Brick, again, somebody who just found the conversation, which is why we do the things that we do. Activate by Frankie and the Witch Fingers. If I could read my handwriting, I think that's what it says. Which is an interesting song because all these other ones are songs that you can totally belt out loud and scream and yell and dance to. And this one is not exactly like that, but I listened to it as I was adding it to the playlist. It's a pretty damn good song, man.
I'll have to dig it. I saw where you had added some of those, so I'm going to have to dig in. I've never heard of that group, so that'll be a new one for me. So that's
all right. So
cool.
let's get into yours. What's a song or what's a band or group that Joe Harden is just screaming at the top of his lungs as he's driving down the road?
Okay, so I wanted to be transparent what my guilty pleasure song is, and I'll admit, like this is gonna sound really wild, because at the same time I was also like jamming out to like the like new Corn, like the Metallica Black album came out, like all these iconic heavy metal albums came out, and then I absolutely adored the first Alanis Morissette album, and the so and I've never really admitted that out loud, but it's
That's
out in
it,
the
man.
open. I can't help myself. I love the song Ironic. I had that album on CD. It made a very regular rotation amongst like Silverchair and like Megadeth and like all these. It was like a very strange time. It was a very strange time, and I still love Alanis
Fits
Morissette.
right in
by the
there.
way, I'll admit it. Yeah, very odd.
So when the moment you hear like, so if we played Name That Tune, would it only take like the very first piece of Isn't It Ironic to come on before you just start singing all the words?
Oh yeah, I know. I could name that tune in like half of a second. It's ingrained. I couldn't help it. It's like I don't know what it was. Like every song that album captured me. It's like so catchy. Like Alanis Morissette is like now in her late 50s, just still on tour, still crushing it. So I just have to give props. And I don't know where my love for Alanis Morissette came from.
But that's the beauty of this stuff, right? Like it just doesn't matter where it came from. It matters that it's there and you can appreciate it. I think a large part of this idea of guilty pleasure songs is because we're always trying so hard to do everything so right that a song comes on, it moves you, it's emotional, it lifts you up, it gives you purpose for a second, and you just lose your shit. You're just like, man, I'm going to get into this and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. I don't care who's around. I don't care what they're seeing. Doesn't matter. And here's the thing. We know everybody's doing it. Everybody is doing it. Everybody has either an artist, a band, a group, or one song that they're like, this is it. And they just start bopping to it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just decided to come clean with mine. I don't want to hold back.
I love it, dude. That's what we're here for. Like, this is the whole point of RTB is to be open, honest, and vulnerable. Like, I'm in the midst of writing a Substack about if you're trying to be revolutionary, you can't do it if you're being a traditionalist, basically. And if we're trying to be revolutionary in this world of content creation, media company, and talking about this stuff, we can't do what other people are doing. And I think that like talking about this music and coming clean with our guilty pleasures of songs is exactly what that is. That is being revolutionary in the confines of who we are as endurance athletes, right? This is not something that people mostly talk about. They want to talk about paces and mileage and distance and events and medals and all of that stuff, which matters. It matters. Don't get me wrong. But let's also talk about this stuff because we're more than one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's just one piece of the puzzle, right? Like everyone has several pieces that aren't distance or what their ultra sign up says.
That's the other thing too, right? So again, it's not just on ultra sign up, right? We have athletes that race triathlon distances. We have athletes that swim marathon distances. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just a cool connection. I think that's the awesome part of if you go to the Spotify and look up our playlist, it's well over 24 hours at this point. I think I saw that we're up to 33 contributors to it now. And everything is so different. Everything on that playlist is so different.
Yeah, I love that. Like, there's people from like I know there's like a guy from the Czech Republic that adds stuff to there. Shout out to Eric. It's just so cool. That made me so happy to see confirmed people from other countries on the playlist. That made me really happy.
You know what is a
and
thing I think about?
Yeah, almost 28 hours now. Actually, I think 27 hours and 45 minutes. But
dude, we're gonna go right past the golden hour. We're gonna have to. This might be the Cocodona or the Oregon 200 playlist before you know it. We might get you through 5 days of running before you know it at this point. That's incredible, dude. How long this show's been on for about a year?
I think so. I think this is episode 18. Yeah,
Almost a
almost a
year. So it's
year.
every other week. So about 36 weeks. So not even, just shy of a year, and it's up to 28 songs. One of the visuals I love to create with this playlist and the contributions from people all over the world is I think about like a high-rise building in Manhattan, right? And there's, like you said, somebody from the Czech Republic. I know Craig in the UK has posted stuff there. We've got people from all across the US that are adding to this list. And it's literally like having a party in the basement of an apartment building, and the music is just blasting, and everybody's like, when we go to Food Fight Friday, everybody's just bringing all different types of dishes into the basement to just hang out and party, right? It's like one big massive apartment building.
I love that analogy. Yeah, it's pretty much it's reflected on the playlist because there's stuff from everywhere on that thing. Some of it I've never heard of or like can't understand, and it's just so cool.
Yeah, between Derek and Santino and Adam Ture, you and Ohm and myself a little bit, like we're all from different backgrounds who have liked different things. But one of the beauties of this community is like we can all get behind somebody or something the way that we are doing it for music, which I think is really, really cool for connecting to each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a common thread that no matter where you're from or who you are, it's like most people can like connect over like music. And it's so weird to think about what music is. It's just like you make a bunch of sounds in a kind of organized way. It's just like weird how powerful that is, and those sounds are different depending on where you're from. That might be like a different instrument or like, yeah, it's just wild how profound just a few minutes of noise recorded can be for people.
It's true. Like it really is true. So let me ask you this. Is Alanis Morissette where you draw the line on guilty pleasure songs, or do you have others?
I have others, because I'll admit that I sat down and watched like Lady Gaga had like a concert that she released on like HBO, and I sat down and watched that with my spouse and my daughter, and I was like, okay, I'm in. Like she's really good. Like plays a ton of instruments.
Yep.
And then she has like a jazz back. I think it's jazz, like kind of like a jazz background before she was like Lady Gaga, and she's like a legit musician. So that made me kind of, I mean, it doesn't make me like listen to a lot more Lady Gaga. It's like I can certainly appreciate the fact that she's like really talented. So I don't even know if it's a guilty pleasure. It's just like, damn, that's a really good musician. Like all across the board, great musician and great voice, great actress too, which is wild. But so I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure, but it's something I wouldn't maybe necessarily like admit, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of will because it's like, wow, really talented individual. So
this is the beauty of this community too, right? Like you're like, look, Lady Gaga, Alanis Morissette, and I'm the exact opposite in like listening to Metallica or Motorhead or any of these bands that you've probably listened to is not a thing for years, or Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber or Lady Gaga. Like I'm all in on that. Give me the top 40 dance hits, sign me up all day, every day, twice on Tuesday. I will listen to that constantly. And we can have conversations about musicians and artists. And the thing that struck me as funny is you referred to Lady Gaga as a real musician. And I'm guessing as opposed to Milli Vanilli is what you're getting at.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you think of like a pop star, you don't really think of them like playing like instruments, and Lady Gaga plays like a bunch of like just really, really good. So I guess in comparison to like, I don't know, like a boy band, maybe. Like,
Those are my favorites. I mean, I'm a big fan of NSYNC and NKOTB, dude. Come on.
But I like Justin Timberlake. I will admit that too, because he is hilarious too. Not only that, but he's got a great voice. So
yeah, I used to say
and can dance, can really, really dance too.
And he can act. He's a
an
good
act.
actor too. I used to say I wish that guy would figure out one way to do something wrong, and unfortunately he did. Because otherwise, most of his shit, it was like, it seemed, again, on the surface, like pure perfection. Like, come on, dude, do something that makes you more human. So the rest of us, but he's a hell of a talent. Um, I shared one of my guilty pleasure songs, which was "Yummy" by Justin Bieber. Like, I can listen to Bieber all the time. Like, I would put myself in the Belieber category. Um, I can't tell you names of songs for the most part. That one is really easy because that's basically the hook and the entire verbiage used throughout the song. But if his songs come on, like, I can belt out the words because they just sink into me, and I'm like, yeah, I can get behind this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just like it's still another musician who is, I mean, decades into his career and still, I mean, still on tour too, as far as I could tell. Still putting on a hell of a show. So looks like he leaves it all out there just as much now as he did in like early, you
Yeah,
know. I mean, he comes from like what the Mickey Mouse. Oh crap! Yeah, so
yeah,
that's a long career too.
yeah. Well, Justin Timberlake was in that. Jessica Simpson, Britney Spears, they were all part of the Mickey Mouse Club or whatever it was called when they were all um, young actors and musicians, I guess. I forgot to mention to you, did you see that Lady Gaga's concert in Rio de Janeiro had 2.4 million attendees over the
Broke the
weekend?
record. That's like the most attended concert of all time, right? So that's insane.
Smash the record, dude. I think the number I saw for Madonna was 1.8 million or 1.6 million. Like, that's not, like, that's smashing the
That
record.
is, I couldn't even. How do you even? Heck, yeah,
You
how?
don't.
Like I don't. I'm just trying to understand that many people. That's
You
bonkers.
don't. You just, yeah, you're just listening to the music coming out of the speakers that are close to you. Like, there's no way you're able to see
But maybe that
anything.
speaks to like how like because so Madonna was a great performer. I mean, huge career. So I mean, maybe that speaks to going back what I said about how good of like a musician Lady Gaga is. I mean, you're packing houses like that. There's a reason for it. So
How did Madonna not get on our list of guilty pleasures? Like, how is Like a
oh
Virgin not on the
yeah, or like
commentary?
Material Girl or something. I can't believe that's not on there.
Yes, those are going on right
Yeah.
now. We'll be adding those because those absolutely belong on that list.
But when I think of Madonna, I think like the early days of like MTV music videos when they still had music videos. I mean, that's how long that's been.
you're, you're really aging us now,
They
dude.
had
Yeah,
music.
I remember they had music. Like artists would spend so much money to create a video to get onto MTV. They probably still do today. I'm guessing on YouTube would be my guess. They're probably still creating videos, but mostly for YouTube distribution would be my guess.
Yeah. Oh dang! Now I'm gonna forget her name, but Billie Eilish. Like Billie Eilish has like phenomenal music videos on YouTube, like like crazy production value, like you would see like on VH1 and MTV like way back in the day. So yeah, they're still. I guess some musicians are still doing that. But
Carson Daly and Downtown Julie
oh
Brown
man,
bringing you videos
the
again.
good days. That's the good days of music.
I don't remember the name of the show, but I remember they used to do it in a studio overlooking Times Square, and I used to always be like, "Hey, I know that billboard," because I used to walk through that area when I was
Is it
that
the
age.
TRL 20 top 20? Yeah.
Yes,
Oh goodness.
yes.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah. It'd be kind of cool to like. I wonder if that's still even in that area. I mean, it's probably
I bet you if you pulled up on YouTube, dude, you should show that to your
like this
kids
is. Yeah,
and get their
you had
reaction
to
to it.
wait for 19 other songs to hear what you were wanted to hear.
I remember, dude. You have to remember this too. Talk about going back old school, like trying to record on a cassette tape off the radio, right? And right as the song was ending, the DJ inevitably every single time would open his mouth right as that last tune was being played. Every single
Yeah, that was such a bummer. Like if you're trying to make a mixtape for like a friend or like a road trip, and then you couldn't cut that part out. It's like, dude, like
Mixtapes. Oh my
mixtapes,
goodness.
mixtapes. I said mixtapes. That was a thing. Remember, make mixtapes for your friends.
What we're getting so old here. What's in your earbuds? A device that helps me listen at this point because it's getting old in this conversation.
A bell tone. That's in my earbuds.
Here's the other thing, right? One of the things that wasn't awesome. So Madonna, we're going back in time with like a Virgin and Material Girl, but Lori and I were talking this weekend, and she's like, "I'm surprised that you haven't put anything on from the Jackson 5 onto this playlist
Oh,
because you love Motown and the Jackson 5 because that's what my parents used to play in our house when I was growing up." So I'm gonna have to go in and drop some Jackson 5 onto our playlist and get that into the guilty pleasure
absolutely.
conversation. I mean, you want to talk about musicians, right? Like Michael Jackson was a musician. Like that dude could sing, he could dance, doing all of the instruments all along the way. Like that dude was something special, man.
His dance moves, like I just I just couldn't understand how somebody was moving that way. And like Janet Jackson, my goodness, like I mean, maybe yeah,
He's
maybe her
another
career
one.
wasn't like as huge as Michael Jackson or whatever, but wow, what an amazing voice! Like same great dancer. Her music videos were always really, really good too. Like going back to MTV days again, but so good.
We had, I mean, just in this conversation alone, we probably got another 7 or 8 songs to add to the playlist for just from the guilty pleasures that we're reminding ourselves of. But I think that's the beauty of music, right? Is and just like food, like you can gather around a table for food. If you go to somebody's cookout, barbecue, or you're hanging out, just chit chatting, and a song comes on like that, that creates that massive sense of community. And it's one of the things that I love about why this show got started because it wasn't about my song choices are better than your song choices. It was like, this is what I listen to and I really enjoy it. What are you listening to? Because I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I think that's it's like a little window into like who someone is, like maybe how their day's going. Like, because if you have like an ongoing conversation with something, because me, like for instance, like Derek, who was just on the show, me and him have been talking music like daily. It's like kind of cool, like day by day. Like when Ohm sends me music, or someone who listens to the show sends me music, it's like you get like a small window into like maybe what they're feeling or thinking at the time too. I guess if that makes sense, but because it's like it's just cool. It's like, oh wow, like you must be feeling like like this song right now for whatever reason. I just kind of think about those things when someone sends me like a song, like for this or we know whatever. But
Over on Instagram, because we do these shows live, folks. I see we have a whole host of people that have joined us. Kevin Shea, we see you on here. We did mention Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer already. So thanks for adding that to our list. Daniel Mason, who is a former coworker of mine back in the day at the Dallas Morning News. I see you on here, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Drop your guilty pleasure song. And for the rest of you that are watching us as we're chit-chatting on what's in your earbuds, guilty pleasures, drop those songs in here. We'll add them to the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network playlist on Spotify, where we have well over 30 contributors and 28 hours of music, where our goal originally was 24 hours. Then we moved it to 30 hours by October. And now it looks like we want to fill up as many hours as we can to help people get through the Triple Crown of 200s, Cocodona, Oregon 200, UTMB, Western States, and on and on and on.
yeah, it's incredible. Like I remember I thought it was like a lofty goal to get to 24 hours, and we just like blew past that like real fast too. So it's been amazing.
We need to get a little bit more international, I think. I think we need to get some people who've got some Latin flair, maybe some songs from Africa or Asia, other countries within the EU, to add to our playlist. I think that would be phenomenal. What would be really cool is if there were uh, athletes in the US that had songs that were of an international flair that were sang in a different language that they could add. That would be dope.
Yeah, maybe we can open that up for like our next thing is like um Yeah, like because I think it's so cool to like some of the songs we've had so far that aren't in English. I'm just like because it forces me to like go in and like to like have Spotify translate it for me, and that's been really really cool. It's been a really neat way of like hearing something well out of my wheelhouse. I think it's just so cool to kind of like take a step back and try to really understand what they're saying and like what the message of the song is. So yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be kind of a cool thing to like bring to everybody. Like, hey, bring submit your international flair. I kind of like saying it like that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, foreign language
Yeah,
song, something like that. I mean, the beauty of our platform and our business and who we are as a community is we take risks. And so we just put it out there, take some risks and see what songs come rolling in and have fun
heck
with it.
yeah.
All right, dude. One last guilty pleasure song for you before we roll out.
I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. It's not really a guilty pleasure song, maybe, but I love that song "Blister in the Sun" by by
Yes.
the Violent Femmes. I listen to that song constantly, so I just love that song. I don't think that's a guilty pleasure, but it's something maybe other people wouldn't see me listening to if they actually knew what my music is usually like. But I love that song. I've always loved it since the day I first heard it, and so yeah, I guess that's my another guilty pleasure song. Absolutely love that song.
That is awesome. So many of you know that Empire State of Mind with Alicia Keys and Jay-Z is one of my favorite songs. But one of my guilty pleasure songs is Girl on Fire by Alicia
Ooh,
Keys. That is a song that I would stand up and sing in a stadium full of people and dance to because it is one of those songs that just grabs me and allows that out of body experience to
heck
take
yeah,
place.
that's a good song.
Thank you guys for joining us. Check out the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and if you're using Spotify, comment on our episodes. It really does help us get more guests, put out more shows for you to enjoy while you're out there swimming, cycling, and running. And be sure to drop your guilty pleasure song in the comments if you want so that we can add it to our Everyday Athlete Podcast Network playlist, also on Spotify. Joe, thanks for joining
Yeah,
me, brother. I will see you in a couple of weeks on the next
heck yeah,
What's in Your
thank you.
Earbuds.